Hello, my name is Bree, and I'd like to welcome you to my channel, Breezy Banter, the place where I talk about the things I want to talk about. In today's video, I'm doing a continuation of a series that I have here on my channel, where I discuss makeup products that are new to the market and the reasons why, for the most part, I won't be purchasing them. Generally speaking, I like being up to date in terms of what's happening in the beauty world. Like, I enjoy makeup and skincare and all of that, but I also enjoy seeing the amount in my investment accounts, my banking accounts, etc. go up. So I'm out here trying to enjoy makeup and skincare and all that it can add to one's life without harming my financial future. So if that sounds good to you, I hope you will like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. So what I have here are posts from Trend Mood and Point Click Vibes, and I'm going to be reading off of their Instagram accounts and just giving my thoughts on the particular items that caught my eye. So the first item that I see here is the new mini palette, the new mini cozy palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. The only reason this really interests me, or the only reason this caught my eye, was because when I saw this, all I could think in my head was, that does not look good and it looks really cheap. And I don't want to equate not being good with being cheap, because there are cheap things that are good and there are things that are very expensive that are not. But when I look at this, if you told me this was like a $6 starter palette that you could get at the drugstore and the main demographic was like girls ages 12 to 15, I'd be like, yeah, okay, like that maps. But this isn't. This is an eyeshadow palette. This is an eyeshadow palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills, and I just expect more. I'm of the opinion that when it comes to neutrals, I feel like for a lot of people, if what you wear most of the time is neutrals, I think it makes sense to invest in like the one palette that you will use day in, day out. I'm reminded of a time when I was in, I want to say junior high, maybe middle school. I went to both a junior high and a middle school. But when I was in one of those, I had like a very cheap $5 Bonnabelle eyeshadow palette that had, I think it was 4 colors, and there was like a dark brown, a medium brown, a light brown, and then like a champagne color. And I panned it. Like, I used it almost every day, and it's what I love to wear. And when I panned it, I begged my mom to buy me another one, and I believe she did. And I'm pretty sure I came pretty close to panning the second one as well. And then I kind of moved away from that one particular look that I was doing. But at that time, like, I didn't have my own money. I had to rely on my parents. And so like a cheap eyeshadow palette makes sense. But I think at this point in my life, if that's what I wanted to wear all of the time, I think I would just splurge and get like the one palette that I know that I'm going to want to use day in, day out, and is of impeccable quality. Like maybe a Natasha Denona palette. And when I look at this palette, I just have to wonder who it's for, because I don't think Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadow quality is that good. When I look at this palette, all I see is it looks dry. Like in the promo pictures, it looks extremely dry. I just feel like if you don't wear neutrals, why are you looking at this? If you do wear neutrals, you can get something so much better, like of better quality, that I think you would enjoy using more than this. And if you don't have the money for something like a Natasha Denona palette, then like ColourPop. I feel like ColourPop is a great option and is of better quality than Anastasia Beverly Hills. And their packaging like looks very similar to this. So I don't know. I see this and I'm just like, I don't know who this is for. Like Anastasia Beverly Hills diehard fans, I guess, but that I'm not one of them. Next is the Gloss Bomb Oil Luminizing Lip Oil in Gloss Shades by Fenty. The only reason this caught my eye was because I had my makeup trial done for my wedding very recently, and the gloss that they used was the Fenty one. And I've been a long-standing proponent of the idea that you don't need to spend a lot of money on like a gloss to get a good gloss. Gloss is kind of one of those things where I feel like it's kind of like mascara, where it's like you can just get good glosses at the drugstore. That said, I really liked the one that she used, like the Fenty one that she used. I want to say, I can't remember exactly what color it was. I want to say it might have been Fussy, but I see here that's one of the shades listed, so I don't think it's like a re-release. Maybe I'm just like getting them mixed up. Either way, this is the gloss that I'm going to be wearing on my wedding day, which is not to say that I think it's necessarily worth it. Like, this is 26 American dollars. I think when I got mine, it was like 32 Canadian dollars, something like that, 32 or 33, maybe 34. And I don't plan on repurchasing it. What I hope to do is just keep it as like a memento for my wedding. But I did like it. Admittedly, I enjoyed it. Okay, coming out the gate with lots of things that I want. It seems like there are several products that the Sephora collection is coming out with. And there are two in particular that I am like eyeing. I have added them to my Sephora loves list. So the one that in particular interests me, or one of them, is the Colorful Blush and Highlighter Glaze. It says $14 in 5 different shades, which is the product on the bottom left of what you'll see on the screen. And I'm most interested in the top left one. So like that really bright pink, kind of dark pink. I think it's gorgeous. And I also am interested in the bottom left one. I forget how it's described on the website. I think it is described as a berry, if I'm not mistaken, but it might be like a dusty berry or something like that. And I've said a million times here on my channel that I'm really interested in getting like another purple blush, but I don't think this is quite the purple that I'm looking for. That said, I think this looks gorgeous, and I don't quite understand why I'm so enamored with this. I think it's a blush and a highlighter, and I just like that idea, but I've added it to my love list. I guess we'll see where it goes. I know the Sephora sale is coming up, and it's like 30% off Sephora collection items, which makes it particularly intriguing. I think when I checked, it was like $19 in Canadian dollars. So I guess just over $12, which I don't think you should buy a product only because it's cheap. $12 is still $12. So I do need to make a decision as to whether or not I will be purchasing that. It's also possible that I'll add it to my loves list. I'll skip out on it for this particular sale and maybe just wait to see more reviews. And if everything is looking promising, then purchasing it in a future Sephora sale. I suspect that these might actually sell out pretty quick. So I guess we'll just see. I'm not Rouge. I don't even think I'm VIB. I think I just have the regular Beauty Insider. I'm virtually certain I just have the regular Beauty Insider. So I'll be last in line to get these. Then the next item that has my eye is the Blush Cream and Powder Palette. And again, I don't know what it is. I suspect what it is that the top left one, which is that bright red, I have it in my head that I want a red blush and a purple blush. And I'm particularly interested in cream versions of those. And I inherently enjoy highlighter. I have a magpie brain, I guess. And so when I see that top left one, it's a red cream blush. There's that powder that I assume is just a red blush to accompany the cream. And then it's not a highlighter, or it's definitely not marketed as such as far as I'm aware, but it seems like it gives that sort of sheen that I enjoy highlighter for. And again, I added this to my Sephora loves list. It says here it's $18. I think when I checked the Canadian website, it was $24. So 30% off, I guess, will be $17-ish. Again, which is a very reasonable price. If I got these two blushes, it's gonna be $29 plus tax and everything, maybe $34, $35. I know I don't need them. Nobody needs blush. I have beautiful blushes in my collection that I should be wearing more often than I do. But man, I really like these. The alternative as well is that as I said, I can put this on my loves list. I'll wait to see more reviews as they come in. And then if they do get good reviews, go into a Sephora store myself and swatch it, because I haven't done that yet, but that might also help me make a decision one way or another. Okay, the next item that I want to talk about is the new collection of Minecraft with NYX. I don't have much to say about this other than I have said before that I do not like makeup as merch. Basically, I think that a lot of people who get pulled into this sort of thing should think about whether they would want these items if it wasn't a collaboration. And for the most part, for myself, I find that generally speaking, I almost never want something that might have my eye because it's a collaboration. I almost never want when I think about it outside of the collaboration context, if that makes sense. And looking at this collection, I just think it's cute. I've played a little Minecraft. I'm a huge gamer, so I enjoy video games. I enjoy seeing this because I like seeing two parts of my life like come together, like makeup and video games. This doesn't interest me to actually like go out and purchase, but I do enjoy it. Okay, next is there are some new releases from Charlotte Tilbury. I don't have that much to say about this that I don't think has already been said, which is largely that the compact looks gaudy to me. I hate Charlotte Tilbury packaging. Let me just be clear about that. I hate it. I've said before on this channel that there are so many things that I think Charlotte Tilbury does that they get away with strictly because they are Charlotte Tilbury and not because it's like actually demonstrative of quality, and people will like defend them for that. I don't like how they respond to dupes, and every defense that I've seen of Charlotte Tilbury critiquing dupes falls really flat for me, which is like, that's another conversation for another day. But anyways, I look at this, and again, if you told me that this was like $5 makeup at the drugstore aimed towards girls aged 12 to 15, I'd be like, perfect, like looks great. But that's not what it is. I feel like the people who enjoy Charlotte Tilbury don't go for a gaudy look. And I think like if any other company did this, like if Elf did this or something, people would like lambast them for it. I don't like gaudy things, so it's not quite my thing. I can see if you do enjoy gaudy things, if you like Polly Pocket, if you like Sailor Moon, like that sort of thing, this calling to you. But like, I feel like that just doesn't match with Charlotte Tilbury's aesthetic at all. I also don't like the lip colors. Like, I tend to prefer a very, very bright lip color, and there's like 3 kind of browny reds and then like that pink. I don't like it. I do not understand the chokehold that Charlotte Tilbury has on the makeup community. The next item I'll only touch on very briefly because it goes back to something that I said earlier in this video, which is the new Mothership Petal Morphosis palette by Pat McGrath. I feel like it kind of touches on what I said about the NYX and Minecraft collaboration and Charlotte Tilbury, which is like, if this palette was not tied to Pat McGrath, if Elf made this, if NYX made this, if Stila made this, whomever, would you still be interested in it? Because I look at this color story and I'm like, I don't like this, like kind of at all. I feel like it clashes, and not in like a cute and colorful way, just in like these colors do not go with each other sort of way. And so I'm just curious, like, I know that a lot of people on YouTube purchase Pat McGrath. I just wonder how many people who aren't familiar with YouTube, who happen to go to Sephora to get like their one palette for the year, like what do they think about this? Because I don't know, I think this is ugly. I like Pat McGrath's quality, at least for the one palette that I have from them, but I don't know, I just feel like, again, this like kind of gets a pass because it's Pat McGrath, and like very few other people would, or companies would, get away with it. Very briefly, I just wanted to talk about the new honey infused hydrating lip oils by Gisou. And I've spoken before about some of the Gisou products that they've come out with like over the past couple months. In particular, there was that one like honey hair mask, and whoever does their marketing pictures, I feel like nails it out of the park every single time. I feel like they like convey something about color, about texture that just like speaks to me. Because when I saw this picture, I feel like if it wasn't marketed in this way, I wouldn't have clicked on it. But because it is marketed this way, it has my interest. I'm not going to purchase it, but I do like this particular type of marketing. Okay, next is the relaunch of the Serum Foundation by The Ordinary. So this is the only reason I wanted to talk about this, is because when The Ordinary first had this in their lineup, which, okay, they say, I'm reading it now, it says they discontinued it in 2022, because I was going to say, I remember it very distinctly being during the pandemic, because I had added it to my wish list, and I waited and waited. At the time, I just didn't need a foundation. And so I added it to my wish list, and I was like, once I get through a foundation, this is the next one that I want to buy. And then I saw like the shade that I was interested in, which I can't remember. I think it's like 2P, like the light medium pink undertoned one, was the one that I wanted, or like I thought would be the best fit. And I saw that like a lot of their colors were going out of stock. And I was like, I think at the time I was like waiting for them to come back, and they just never seemed to. And then maybe a couple months later, they announced that it was being discontinued. So I was like, dang, okay, I missed my chance to try it. But now they are relaunching it, and I don't actually know what they changed. Reading it, it seems like they didn't actually change anything. They were saying they're just relaunching it because people asked them to bring it back. I'm still at a point in my life where I don't need another foundation. I actually don't know if I've finished a foundation since it originally went out of stock, which is 2022, so like that tells you something. But I am very interested in this. I don't think I've tried anything from The Ordinary that I didn't enjoy. And I like cheap products that work well. And I feel like The Ordinary, at least like the skincare that I have tried from them, is like, it is that. It's cheap skincare, but it works well. And that's my hope for their makeup as well. Because it says this is $7.50. Like that's, in my opinion, very accessible. And I love the idea of having like, if this foundation works for me, I love the idea of just chain buying a $7.50 foundation bottle, knowing that the shade works for me, knowing that it's relatively affordable, knowing that I like The Ordinary, I like their approach to things. I like that idea. So I'm not going to purchase this now. It is going back on my wish list, however, and perhaps if / when I finish a foundation, this will be the next one that I buy, I think. So I went to Point Click Vibes, and I'm not seeing anything on their site or like on their Instagram page that I think I either didn't cover or is of particular interest to me. So I'll stop the video there. For whatever reason, it seems like there are a lot of products coming out right now that I'm very, very interested in particular the two blushes from the Sephora collection and the Ordinary foundation. Anyways, all of that to say, I have a few items that have gone on my wish list. At least for the time being, I'm gonna hold out. I think come the Sephora sale, with the Sephora collection items being 30% off, I might go in store and swatch it and see where it goes from there. And at the end of the day, I can always keep it on my wish list, wait until the next sale. The Sephora blushes might sell out during this sale, and then my guess, because they're new, and if I just wait for the next sale, like I'm sure I don't have to worry about like being there the first day to get it, which is a nice feeling as well. So that's all that I had to say. As I said, if you enjoyed this video, I hope you'll like, comment, and subscribe. I'm curious to hear if there's anything that has caught your eye lately. Are you like me, where it seems like there wasn't anything that was of particular interest for a really long time, and then all of a sudden there's like 7 things that you're interested in, or is that just me? And before I go, I'd like to take a minute to thank you for taking time out of your day to spend watching this video. It really means a lot to me. Thank you. Bye.